send me out to the back and play baseline games with his real star pupil, Lindsay. I won't bore you with the details or embarrass myself, but safe to say I learned quickly what the rest of the world would realize shortly. Lindsay was an incredible talent, well on her way to becoming as fine of a ball striker as any man or woman that has held a tennis racket. Wow, she just won a lot, like a lot. Then I realized even as a close friend, I hadn't really absorbed the significance and depth of her achievements and quickly understood why. Lindsay's most endearing and revered characteristics are her humility and character. In a sport that celebrates the individual, she never reveled in or craved significant attention. She went about her career the same way she goes about her life, more concerned with the achievement than the notoriety. Lindsay won 3 major singles titles, 3 major doubles titles, an Olympic gold, 3 Fed Cups, 55 singles titles, 38 doubles titles, was the year-end world number 1 4 times. Let me just say that again, just to put it in perspective. The year-end number 1 4 times. Only 3 other women have ever accomplished that feat. Stephanie Graf, Martina Navratilova, that beautiful woman right there, Chrissy Everett. They're all tennis royalty, and rightfully, Lindsay is one of them. By the way, she also held the number 1 ranking in doubles, just as a sidebar. But for all that, I know she takes even more pride and satisfaction in being an incredible mother to those 4 beautiful children right there. And a loyal partner to her incredibly supportive husband, John, as anything she has accomplished on the court. I think John deserves another round of applause. Lindsay's transition into a successful broadcasting career has been predictably impressive in her customary understated way, and it hasn't surprised me in the slightest. She's a passionate student of the game, and just as valuable in broadcasting is her desire to rightfully focus on the sport and the players rather than herself. Most of all, besides all these accomplishments, everything she's done on the tennis court, Lindsay is just a really special person. She's generous, she's loyal, supportive, caring. She conducted herself with grace on the court, and she has continued to show the same class regardless of the scenario or situation off the court. To be Lindsay's friend is an honor. I'll never take it for granted and always cherish it. In many ways, she's the sister I never had, and I love her deeply. It's an honor to introduce the latest inductee into the International Tennis Hall of Fame, my dear friend, Lindsay Davenport.
Thank you to Justin. As he said, it was over 25 years ago that we met playing this great sport, and I am very lucky and honored to have him by my side still navigating the tennis world and my life in general, so thank you to Justin. Thank you. To be up here on the stage and to share it with all the greatness that is up here is overwhelming as well, and a huge congratulations to the other inductees this year. John, Jane, Nick, Chantel, it is a pleasure to share this stage with you. I was 5 years old when I first hit a tennis ball and a racket was put in my hand. It was the 3rd sport that my parents tried with me to get me out of the house, clearly at a young age after school. And I never wanted to learn another sport, and I still don't. I immediately had a love for hitting the ball, doing anything I could to play more at the club. My parents would find me often at the back wall of the club trying to hit more tennis balls. I would come home and hit against the garage. I would bounce the ball on my racket in my house. Anything I could do to continue to learn to hit a tennis ball. and I always had my parents' support. They did everything they could to just help me achieve my dreams. There was never any pushing me. There was never any getting mad at me. There was never any threats, but just going out of their way to help me achieve what I wanted to set out in life. And I want to thank them, and they're both here today for that. The best lesson they ever taught me was that nobody likes a poor loser, but nobody likes a poor winner as well. And so you treat those two things equally. And I tried to do that throughout my career. Not always the easiest, but hopefully I can relay that message along to my own kids as well. I had two phenomenal sisters growing up that I could tell you now never knew where I was, if I won, who I was playing, and they never cared, and they still don't. They probably had no idea what Justin was saying with some of the career statistics, and that is why I love them. And they kept home life very normal. There was never any talk about tennis or success, but just about who we were and who we were becoming and unconditional love. I always look back to 2 days that my life forever changed, and one of them happened when I was just 8 years old. I was playing in a junior team tennis match, club versus club, and what was a common sight, my mom becoming very friendly with my opponent's mom. But on this day, my opponent was Stephanie Lansdorp, daughter of the world-renowned coach Robert Lansdorp. And by the end of the 8-game pro set, Susie Lansdorp, Robert's wife and one of the most amazing women on this planet, had convinced my mom that I should try her husband's academy, which was just down the road. And so the next week, off I went, and my life would never be the same. Spent the next 6 or 7 years there training with Robert, learning the sport, how to hit a tennis ball, spending hours not only hitting balls but talking with him. And it was a small academy, it was just 5 courts, but for all of those who went there, Justin and Tracy, among others included, we always feel a huge bond together and to Robert. And he's definitely set me on my way. After I had won the Australian Open in 2000, I was 23 years old, and I had just moved into a new house when I was outside, and my neighbor from across the street came over to introduce herself as Sandy Leach, the wife of Dick Leach, a longtime professional and also head men's tennis coach at the University of Southern California. She invited me to a party she was throwing that night for her oldest son, Rick, who himself had just won the Australian Open in men's doubles. So that night, I went across the street to help celebrate Rick, who was also a friend of mine and sometimes practice partner. And as I was leaving, I was getting called from behind. I turned around, and it was John Leach, Rick's younger brother. And we stayed talking for a little bit that night. I told him I had to go. And the next day, he showed up at my practice with Rick with a huge smile on his face, brought his rackets out, and there our love affair started, and our partnership began. And almost 15 years later, I do feel like I'm the luckiest woman in the world for that area of my life and for everything that he's given me. And that has given me the greatest joys of my life, my 4 children who are over there, for Jagger, Lauren, Kaya, who was the one I think screaming and got pulled away, and the baby, Haven. They are forever my loves and joys, and I can never imagine what my life would be like without them. I talked about my love of this game from a very young age, and I feel so incredibly lucky that I still get to be involved with it because of the great people at Tennis Channel. It always felt a little bit like an accident. I became better than I thought I could be. I didn't know how to handle that at times, but I do hope that I handled it as well as I could and with some class. And this is an incredible honor for me, an amazing achievement, and I will forever be humbled by this. So thank you very much.
On behalf of the Executive Committee and the Board of Directors of the International Tennis Hall of Fame, it's my pleasure, along with Tracy and Justin, to present you this jacket and this certificate, which symbolizes your official entry into the Tennis Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Take a step up there.
Yeah.